Welcome to Between Friends. I'm Eileen Roche, co-founder of Dime, and I'm a longtime embroiderer. Today, we are revealing a new product. But before we get to that, I'm going to have a little swig of champagne, believe it or not. Why champagne? Well, champagne is a symbol of luxury, and in the embroidery world, luxury can be conveyed in not only beautifully digitized designs, but also in the thread that is used to stitch them. And what thread is the industry's most luxurious? Well, KingStar metallic thread, of course. KingStar is the world's best running thread. And this Japanese-made thread is all the buzz in embroidery groups. So don't go by my word. Listen to your fellow embroiderers. They can verify that KingStar is the king of metallic thread. KingStar can run at high speeds with a regular embroidery needle on a horizontal or vertical position. No special gadgets or tricks to make it run smoothly. The possibilities are really endless when your metallic thread runs like regular embroidery thread. You can even wind bobbins with matching KingStar for one-of-a-kind freestanding lace designs. Today, we're celebrating the unveiling of the newest KingStar color, Champagne. The champagne color fills out our KingStar gold offering to a total of 4 unique gold shades. Champagne is the lightest of the 4 golds. It's a light yellow, kind of a beige shade, and it's similar to a glistening straw. The color of champagne is associated with sophistication and excitement. You'll often see champagne as a popular choice for celebratory occasions. Before we take a look at the 4 different golds, I want to show you all 22 KingStar colors. Look how yummy they are. You're going to find a range of the greens, some aquas and the blues, and here's our 4 golds. And then, of course, we have a silver, an aluminum, and then pewter, 2 purples, 3 pink to rose, and then copper, orange, and red. It really fills out the rainbow so that you can opt to use metallic thread, KingStar metallic thread, for just about all of your embroidery. We love how it sits on these spools, these green spools, and I'm going to teach you how you wind that tail so you know how to keep it nice and tidy. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the 4 golds. So here we have the newest color, champagne, and here let's pull out the matching spools. So here's the champagne, and next up was my favorite before the champagne came out. And then we have another gold that's a little bit more military, I would say. And then we have a even deeper gold that I would say is a little bit more brassy. So you have lots of choices. And why do you want so many choices? Well, I can tell you that the gold offerings that we have before champagne, these were our best-selling colors. So we know people rely on KingStar when they need a gold metallic thread. And this lighter gold blends so beautifully with the other metals that we offer, the aluminum, the light silver, and the pewter. Oop. So let's put them back where they belong, shall we? So they're nice and tidy, probably not in the right order, but I think I can figure it out. And this one actually wants to go like this. It's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, right? And here we have it all together. Let's take a look at some jewelry that we have. That's a mix of gold and silver. So here you can see it's lifelike, right? If these were in your ears, would someone really know they were made out of thread? They glisten just like a true metal. And the combination of the gold and the silver is really on trend. It's very popular right now to mix metallics, and you most certainly can do that with all of these KingStar colors. So Let me move some of these out of the way so I can show you some beautifully digitized embroidery designs by our friends at OESD. Look, they even have a champagne design, which we stitched entirely in KingStar, except for the black. We did use the traditional exquisite 40 weight black embroidery thread, that polyester, just to give it a little bit of punch. We don't make a KingStar black because we've been working with our friends in Japan to produce a black, and it's just not bright enough. They're still working on it. So in the meantime, we love that pewter, works for many accents, but in this case, we use the black. So how do you find this design? Well, let me show you. I'll go over to PowerPoint and show you where you can find these beautiful embroidery designs from OESD. Just go to oesd.com and you'll be presented with their homepage, which, you know, there's several tiles there, so it changes. But in this search box, I want you to just enter the number that you saw on the image of the design. You just enter that number and up the design will pop. It's that easy to search on OESD for beautiful embroidery designs. So now let's go back and take a look at some of these other designs. So we stitched every one in metallic. Look at this really fun scroll iron. I mean, who wouldn't want this a beautiful embroidery design decorating their studio, right? And if you are a crocheter or a knitter, we combined the silver and pewter with that beautiful aqua color, and we have several golds in this yarn ball. Just beautiful, really lovely. I guess that's the bottom of the design, right? That's how you would display that. Next up, buttons. Now, all of this is KingStar. These green and aqua are purples and the light pink, the blues, the orange, the copper, and even a deep red. Each of these buttons has 3 colors of metallic thread. We love that design, and it's stitched out just beautifully. And all you knit is love, right? How true is that? If you're a knitter, it's true. You're probably knitting with your heart as you stitch along and create something to give someone. And wouldn't this be a beautiful adornment on a yarn bag that you use to carry your supplies? We love that. Talk about KingStar in color. Full color here. We have the light gold, the deeper medium toned golds and blues outlined in the silver. And we have orange and green and these purples. I love this design. It is so colorful. And when you are stitching this design in KingStar, you're probably not going to have one thread break, and you're going to be able to run it at high speed without a special needle. Just treat it like a regular embroidery design. Oh, and steampunk designs, who doesn't love them, right? Now look at that silver. It's so bright. And this is our brand new champagne. It is lovely, filling in these little droplets. I love that. And the gears, we stitched in the deeper golds, and that key is done in the brightest gold, that color that I kind of call brass, which I think works just beautifully when you get so much variety in one design. OESD also has some beautiful henna designs. These are kind of mimicked after henna tattoos. I love run stitch designs. I love how they're light. I like how you can see the fabric through the thread. And this is just beautiful, stitched in our bronze and the champagne. That's exactly how it is digitized. That's the one color and the second color. I love it. You, of course, could stitch it all in one color if you wanted. Here's a great example of mixing metals. So here we have the aluminum, and this is the copper, and then our champagne. And look at this, the subtle shading that you have across those metals. It's beautiful the way it just kind of just blends into each other. You can barely see where one stops and the other starts. And this kind of whimsical feather Oh, I love that. Look at it. So we have the really light silver here, and then we pewter in the middle and aluminum down here. It gives you subtle shading, but all in the same color family. Imagine how lovely that would look on a jacket, maybe repeated several times down the front of a jacket. Now here's a great view of the variety of golds that we have. Here's our champagne on this side. Right here we have the other light gold, and then our medium, and then our darkest gold over here. All four colors are combined in this design. Really gives you, it's eye-catching, right? Oh, and these elephants. Look at this just charming elephant. It always makes me smile when I see an elephant that has been artistically decorated like this. I love how we have the accents here on the trunk, and then his ears really resemble large leaves. And of course, this big kind of medallion design across his back, and each foot decorated independently of the other, and yet cohesive, just beautiful. Oh, I love that. This tiny little tail, so really cool. And speaking of elephants, now we're up close and personal with the elephant face. Here's our champagne and our dark gold, medium over here with a little bit of medium in here, and then that second darker gold. I should be calling these by their numbers. We have MG1, which would be this color here. MG2 is this color right here. And then let me go ahead and grab MG4 and the champagne. There we go. Just take a minute to do that. Okay. And so, oh, goodness gracious. Here's MG2, which is the darkest gold, and then our champagne over here. So let me put them all out here. Actually, MG3 is our darkest gold, so he belongs there. MG2 is here, and MG1 is right in this location. So here you can see, I mean, when you look at them in the design, it's very subtle. When you're looking at the spools, you can really tell the difference in the tone and the shade. In something like this design, you have a lot of creative freedom. You can select any shade that you'd like. But if you're doing patches, let's say lettering for something maybe military or police or fire, their golds, they select one type of gold and that runs all through the department. So it's great to have options. If you're doing holiday embroidery, like Christmas holiday, you probably would prefer one of these four. You may not combine all of them because other items in your decor are likely to match maybe this or maybe MG2. So, just options for you when you're trying to match and coordinate with different decorating elements in your own home. So here's a great example of the four designs repeated and stitched in their own color. So I'll just get these all laid out. Let's see, MG3 I think is there. MG2 is here. And then where's my champagne? Here you go. There you have it. Isn't that so fun to see how they look? This is very light. It's not white. It's not silver. It's just straw-like. It's almost beige, and yet it glistens like all of our other metallic golds. It just really fleshes out our offering of gold so that you have many choices when you're selecting a KingStar metallic thread to decorate your embroidery. Now, next up, I want to teach you how to wind that tail, right? Because we don't have a little notch in the spool to secure the tail of KingStar, but I'm going to teach you how you can secure that tail. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about this. We were commemorating our dear friend Deborah Jones, and many people said that they learned how to do that from Deborah. Well, I did too. But during that broadcast, many of you said, I still don't understand how to do it. So I thought I would take a moment. I'm going to move this out of the way so I can show you exactly how it goes, how to do it. And I'm going to do it on a heavier twine so that you can see it better. And then I'll do it on the KingStar. How about that? Okay. So I'll bring a couple KingStars in here so we can get a feel. That MG4, that's our new one. So I'm going to leave that right up there so you can see it. Okay, so I have a spool of twine, and this I'm going to place it on this spool holder just so that I can have both hands free, right? Because we need both hands. So first thing I'm going to do is pull a long tail, probably about 12 inches. And I'm going to grasp the tail and the other end of what's not really the end, but grab onto the thread that's close to the spool itself. So hold on to that. You have to do this the right way. And then put your other hand inside and twist 1, 2, and 3. And then place that over that whole loop, place that over the spool, and then just pull. Just pull, and you'll see you're going to kind of create a little knot. Maybe 3 was a little too much, but now look, it's secured. It's not going anywhere. I could cut off this tail or not, just leave it there. It doesn't matter. Now to loosen it, I just either put your finger or the tip of a scissors inside and then pull out that tail and out it comes. Out it comes that easily. So let's go ahead and let's try that again with this, and then we'll do it with the KingStar. So again, I'm going to pull a tail, right? And then hold on to the other thread, creating a loop. I put my hand inside and twist and grab over the spool and pull that tail, right? And when I pull, you can see that knot that's creating right there. But it's a nice loose knot. To release it, I just put either my finger inside, right? Or something you can fit in there, and you just pull it apart and just pull it apart. Yeah, you might have to play with it just a little bit to get it loose. There we go. Now it's coming. There we go. That's all it takes. Okay, now let's do it on the KingStar. Why did I use the twine? It's thicker and it's not reflective, so I thought it would be easier for you to see. So I'll do it here on the MG2, and I'm just going to, do you have to put it on a spool holder? You don't. So let's put that away so you can see how you would do it at home. And again, you can barely see this, I know, but I'm pulling a loop, and I have the loop, my hand inside the loop, and I'm going to twist and twist again. And then I hold on to the tail in my right hand. Meanwhile, I'm putting that whole loop over the spool, and I just pull. And when I pull, I get this little knot right here. I know you can't really see that, but there it is. There you see it. And then I would, if I were home, I would trim this, because I would just cut away that 10 inches. And then I just insert something into that loop on the spool side of the knot, and it just releases. It's as easy as that. So we'll try that one more time so you can see. So again, I'm pulling out a tail, I'm crossing it over, I have my hand inside the loop, twist 1, twist 2, holding on to the tail, I slide that loop over the body of the spool. And then you can see right there, I think, there you go. You can see that's my knot. Now, what if it's so tight you can't get in there? Well, you can just kind of hold on to that knot and lift it away. Use the tip of something to get inside, and that's it. And you just have to lift it, and off it comes. And you might bring, a little bit more with it. That's okay. Just let that unravel. Just let that unravel, and then wind it back up. Just wind it back up. Now, what do we love about KingStar? Well, if you remember, and I'm going to show you this, one of the beauties about KingStar is I have my gorgeous earrings here, all my golds. I have to get earring findings on these other sets so that I have something so I can wear them, right? And I have them to match whatever it is that I'm wearing. But for right now, we'll set them aside. But one of the beautiful things about KingStar is when you puddle it, right? If you were just to release this, look how it puddles. It just goes into circles, no kinking. It's just easily falling off the spool instead of kinking, right? We don't see any sharp angles. We don't see any bends, like hard folds or hard bends. That's what a kink is, right? It's those kinks on other metallic threads that give you frustration. That's what gets caught in your tension. Oh, who knows? It's really a bummer. You can get a lot of problems with that. So now you know how to wrap KingStar around itself. It's easy to secure that tail so you don't have to have, long lengths of it hanging off the spool. And, because you don't need any special put up when you're embroidering on it, right? We don't need a special needle. We don't need to put the cone in, let's say, a coffee mug and put it down on the floor behind the machine. I know I've done that with other brands. I don't need an extra large eye on my needle. I could just use my regular embroidery needle, whether it's a sharp or a ballpoint, doesn't matter. I can use it on a horizontal pin or a vertical pin. Now, I will tell you that you may have a machine that doesn't like the horizontal pin. So put it on the vertical pin. I'm sure you won't have any problem. On my multi-needle machine, I have to wrap my KingStar around that tension disc on top of the machine twice. That's the only special attention I have to give to my KingStar. Everything else is running as normal. It comes up through the normal thread guides. I wrap it around that tension disc twice, and then down through, the remaining take-up lever and the thread guides through the needle. No problem after that. And it runs like a dream. And in the bobbin, you've seen some of the lace that we've done. Oh, it's stunning. KingStar on the top and the bottom, just beautiful. You could just celebrate with champagne all day long, right? Truth be told, it's not champagne. It's ginger ale. But champagne is a lot more fun to celebrate with, right? So what else is happening here? Well, I'm going to be back in on the 29th. Next week, I'm going to be back on the 29th. And Ashley Jones is going to be back on June 3rd, talking all about software. Now, that's a Tuesday. She does the first and third Tuesday of every month. And you're just going to love what she has in store. Boy, if you use any of our software, you should tune into Software Success, because Ashley is always sharing knowledge, her personal knowledge of how to use software, how to get the most out of it. And we always say here at Dime, you can't break software. So you should get in there and play with it. That's what we love to do for sure, is play with our software. And our friends at OESD, obviously they do too. Look at those beautiful designs they digitize. They spend a lot of time in embroidery software digitizing. So what else is coming up? Well, I'll be back on the 29th. We're going to talk a little bit more about thread, but not metallic. We're going to delve into a lot of colors. That'll be, we'll have quite a bit of fun. And we would really appreciate it if you would like us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel, so we know that you are appreciating the educational material that we provide to you. And, I think last week I mentioned that we're going to be celebrating all through June and all through July as I kind of wind down my career. So I hope that you'll join us. I hope you'll be excited about the announcements that we'll be making as we go along. We're going to have a lot of guests, and it's just really going to be a lot of fun. So I hope that you're a part of it also. So, of course, it's no surprise that today's episode of Between Friends is brought to you by KingStar Thread and our newest color, Champagne. It's on sale right now for $15.99. And I think you're going to find this new color of Champagne to be just what you were missing in your library of metallic thread. So I hope you'll take advantage of it. And until next week, happy stitching. I'll see you on the 29th.